Hello, my name is Athena Pavlidis, and today I'm going to be presenting my project, Student Connection App. The Student Connection App is a plan to solve the disconnection at universities that has especially happened due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Back in spring 2020, a lot of students were thrown off when they were put into online classes. Teachers only had a couple of weeks to adjust, and this led to many students' grades plummeting. And in the fall, with incoming freshmen, the transition to online classes left out a lot of the initial enjoyable college experience for them, also leading to many dropouts, confusion, and unsurety. So I am hoping to create an app that will help students connect with one another, since currently sitting in classrooms with masks on, if that is even an option, makes it hard for students who are new to college or new to the classes to connect with one another. My app would be very engageable, encourage communication, and have chats set up based on which class students were in. And there would be ways for them to communicate with students who have taken the class in the past for support, resources, and one part of the app that will help connect local businesses, particularly in Denton, is that once students can recommend each other for their help or reward one another for helping or providing a resource, and those students will get rewards such as coupons or deals at those restaurants. This way, small local businesses in Denton that have been impacted by COVID-19 will also get more customers in and become recognized, which is a great thing since this is a small college town. But the big part of this app and this project is to keep students in college, relieve their stress and anxiety, and help them understand the college experience that they were looking forward to much more. Prior to the move online, 87% of students indicated they were somewhat or very satisfied with their course, and afterward the number declined to 59%. The 3% of students who were very dissatisfied before going online grew to 13%, as educationdata.org says, which was one of many resources I found that showed the stats of college students dropping out since COVID-19. So my SMART goals for this project are to create an app that connects college students and classes to one another via interactive group chat. It will be similar to GroupMe, but much more interactive and personalized for which type of class or major the student is taking. Students rate each other and provide help to earn rewards, specifically those to small local businesses or restaurants. The development of this app will begin with a 2 to 3 month research process. This will be the initial ideation phase that most UXers use, where they research student behavior, feelings, wants, and needs. We often go through multiple different testings and surveys to make sure we get a wide enough audience, and I'll get into the audience later. The second month will be researching and reaching out to local businesses. We would try to get as many as possible, but that will probably be one of the struggles with an app like this that isn't connected to a large company. The following 6 months afterward would involve design, testing, developing, programming, and more. At UNT, there's a growing group of UX designers that I am personally familiar with that I've been working with for the past 3 years that would be utilized in this process of making this app. As students, this app would be relevant to them, and creating apps is something they have been taught to do. We've gone through different testing methods, typography, connected to UXers out there in the world, and have received plenty of information that would make this doable for us. So the connections that I have would make this app both enjoyable and very doable. This app is especially relevant with COVID-19 having upset the typical pattern of college studying, learning, and interacting. This app can help bring a sense of normalcy and comfort to students during this stressful time period. But not only will this app help now, but I believe it can help in the future. The app will not just be a app to use during COVID-19. It is something that will help make this experience better, but also help students in the future just connect to their colleges more and have less stress in general. The goal would be to make this app as soon as possible because it is something that is needed now to help students stay in college, want to go to college, and relieve that stress. So ideally, this would be finished in 1 year. So we're going to look at the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats of this project. The strengths are that this is an app that will provide connection, promote local businesses. There'll be a point system for awards, so students will be encouraged to try to get free stuff or good discounts, good deals, and it will encourage engagement. The opportunities are It connects students in multiple ways, and I'm sure we could look at how to do that even further by creating groups and such, like study groups after COVID-19 passes and it's safe to be with one another. It will boost local businesses, which have really taken the COVID-19 hit hard and lost a lot of customers. Reduce dropout rates in college, which I'll be able to track, and decrease anxiety and stress. The weaknesses are marketing. That will be somewhat difficult to do, to reach out to so many restaurants and also make the schools aware of the apps. Schools like in Denton County, especially UNT, already recommend a lot of resources to students, so that could be a bit overwhelming. Getting a lot of students to want to join, want to download the app. This app would not be produced by a mainstream company, so there would need to be a way to get people aware of it without knowing who we are. And making sure there are also appropriate behavior filters on the app as well to make sure students are being polite to one another. The threats are that there are existence of current chat apps such as GroupMe that some students use. However, I think this can be overcome easily by the uniqueness of this plan. The app could not be mentioned by the school. Students might find the number of apps being recommended to them overwhelming, and there's an abundance of general apps. So my target population would obviously be college students, especially incoming freshmen who are really not familiar with the way college might work. In general, like the platform the school is using, such as Canvas or Blackboard. International students who, if English is a second language, understanding the different communication types per classroom can be pretty overwhelming, I'd imagine. And students with learning processing disorders, specifically such as dyslexia, who have a hard time processing all the different forms of communication as well. The general age range for this audience is 17 to 25, but I know there are a lot of students who don't fit that category that could still find this app very usable as well, but still 17 to 25 would be the general ages. So my future projections for this is that this will grow into a website eventually, because not everybody wants to download an app. Since developing a website and an app would be quite expensive to do at the beginning, that's why I hope for a website in the future once this has more funds, but the app will also be creating funds on its own, and I will get into that later. The website would be good because that way students could access it from multiple areas. Wi-Fi is an obstacle because I know not all students have great access to Wi-Fi, so I hope in the future this project finds a way to help students with that as well. I would like to also expand this project beyond Denton County. It's where I want to start because I'm doing this alone. I do not have an organization, so I feel like Denton County would be a great place to start. I'm familiar with it and have a lot of connections here. I would like to also make future partnerships with different companies who might be interested in supporting this app, and of course continue the design and continue to improve the app. My funding goals are crowdfunding, earned revenue, and cold calls follow-up. Each one of these have different amounts of money that I hope to gain from each one. The crowdfunding goal is $5,000, earned revenue is $30,000, and the cold calls follow-up about $2,500. So for the strategies I would like to do in crowdfunding, the ideal situation would be to make a GoFundMe, have a small animated video to be charming and explain the process and the app and the different features it would have, and getting the word out about this GoFundMe through social media. With earned revenue, the app would be creating its own source of money over time through ads on it, and by doing an in-app ad format, I would need to choose between banner, native video, or offer wall, or playable rewarded ads. So the next step would be to choose one of those and choose an ad pricing model, such as cost per mile, cost per click, and cost per action. With cold calls follow-up, that would be somewhat like making a list of people, checking through to make sure that we've called people who are relevant and interested, and using someone who is good at sales probably to sell the idea. So these are the tasks initiated, a bit more filled out with the ideas that I would be doing. Creating the GoFundMe, the animated videos, spreading the video, the earned revenue, cold calls, and follow-up. And continuing on, the funding summary, the funding total goal will be $37,500. The reason this number is high is the cost of programming and getting this app live and the amount of intense research it would take to make this app work. It is not a simple app. It needs to be something that is developed and can be personalized for college students. It needs to be something where college students feel like the work is being done for them rather than a place to simply set their work. The people that would be needed to make this idea come true would be crowdfunding trackers, which would be someone to keep track of the funds coming in and keeping the page up to date. That could be myself or a friend or a fellow UX peer of mine. Ad trackers, someone to connect ad companies and keep the ads relevant to the audience of the app. I want to make sure there aren't ads that seem really random to look like that we don't care who we're advertising to as long as we get money. I'd want them to be relevant to a college student. And then caller, somebody who has good salesperson qualities who can sell our idea to potential donors. So the current status of this app is ideation stage. I'd be taking surveys, sketches, I've done light research, card sorts, post-it notes, and I'd be conducting interviews to find out what students want, need, what they're feeling to further make this app better. From this experience and this class, I have learned that it's important to have a variety of ways to get funds. You can ask people for it, create something that people want to buy. You can ask for grants and apply for those as well, but it's good to have a variety and not put all your eggs in one basket. You need to have determination, make sure you're organized, and make it clear what your plan and project is. My future plans are for funding would be applying to grants, scholarships, competitions, and new campaigns. I have currently applied to the Accrediting Council on Education and Journalism and Mass Communication, or AEJMC, Visual Communication Design Division programs for their Best of the Web grant. This is a competition where they want their competitors to enter into this contest to create an app or a website that encourages mass research and mass communication, which would be exactly what this app does. As for future plans and my tasks, I would want to do further research for this app, look into expansions for this app, like who I might partner with to give the app more dimension, and I would also need to keep up with COVID developments to see how I could cater the app to work for students depending on how COVID may change. It's very unpredictable. And then my future plans with strategies is I want to create something that's sellable, marketable. It needs to look professional, and I would need to make sure to do plenty of usability testing on multiple people. I need to get a variety and make sure there's plenty of diversity in there with backgrounds and the experiences people have had. And then I would need to make sure that everyone I'm testing it on is a student, but also get feedback from teachers as well and what they see could be better in the classroom, since they're also getting the impact of COVID-19 as well. So in conclusion, the funding support of this app will help it come to life by making sure the correct amount of research and testing is completed. And thank you to all potential funders for your time.